You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your number one source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AfterBuzz TV's Real Housewives of New Jersey After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Real Housewives of New Jersey After Show.
Hello, AfterBuzz family. First thing I want to tell you is that Bing is for doing. Can we all say that together one more time? Bing is for doing. Thanks for joining us. This is the after show for the Real Housewives of New Jersey. And before I get into introducing my lovely panel of co-hosts, I want to remind you guys to make sure you check out iTunes. Make sure you tell everybody, your friends, your girlfriend, your mama, your baby daddy. We want you to tell everybody, and we want you to make your comments. Subscribing to our show is 100% free. You don't have to pay a single thing.
iTunes and YouTube.
iTunes and YouTube. Make comments. We love when you make comments. We actually read them. We go back. Even when you make bad comments about us, we still like it.
I don't know about that one, but
I'm just saying, we love when you make comments.
We will get you right back.
We will hit you back. Tweet us. If you want to call in with some comments, we welcome that. The number to call in is 424-256-1729. And without further ado, I'm introducing my lovely panel. To my left,
Adrienne Vairo. And across from me, Giselle Ugarte, and I'm always live tweeting. You can tweet me at Giselle Ugarte.
Tweet her.
and I'm Susan Hahn, and you can also tweet me at It's Susan Hahn.
All right, and I'm Diona Vaughan. You can tweet me at GoToGirlTV. Did anybody tweet? Did we tweet? Well, I
tweeted.
Earlier. Okay,
Giselle
all right.
always
just
tweets.
checking.
I retweeted her tweet.
Giselle is like the Twitter freaking queen. All right, so
Seriously,
she's on
where
it.
would we
She's
be
on
without
it.
her?
I don't know.
I don't
But-
know.
Probably.
Okay, you guys, this episode, not only was this episode like just damn good because basically it was a continuation of Jamie Laurita's wedding in Chicago, but also there's been so much like news and gossip, and the Housewives of New Jersey have been all over. Like they've been in the magazines,
Everywhere. Yeah.
they've been on TV.
Yes.
So this is some juice, y'all. This is juicier
Can
than
I also
Juicy
say,
Joe.
I appreciated all of the, yes. To add to the juice, I appreciated all the making out in this episode.
Yes.
Yeah. Did it make
Both
you horny?
same sex and, I mean,
make you horny,
I wouldn't
babe.
go that far, but I appreciated it.
I appreciated it. Yeah.
Wait,
no,
who
it's
made
good.
out besides
There's a-
Richie and Kathy?
There's a lot
And
of
the couple, Rich and Jamie.
Yeah.
Jamie and Rich.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys, let's dig in.
But Kathy
so
and Rich, that was hot.
let's dig.
Yes,
A
dig,
lot of
dig.
juice, a lot of
Boom.
stuff to talk about today.
Take
So we finally got to see the big wedding. Jamie's wedding. It's in Chicago. Obviously, well, this episode there was a little divide. So the Gorgas and the Wakilis, they were on the Jersey Shore,
Having their own little party.
having their own little party, which looked like it was so much
so
fun.
fun.
Like it's just so much fun. And then we had the Laritas, and then we had the
Manzos.
the Manzes, and the
Giudices.
Giudices at the big, wedding in Chicago. So I got to hear what everybody thinks about this episode because it was, I hate using this word, but it was epic.
It was epic. Well, I definitely would rather be at the Jersey Shore partying with those guys because that looked like
That looked
really
like a lot
like
of
a
fun.
AfterBuzz season finale at the Jersey Shore live. Anyone?
Let's-
Anyone? I'm down. I'm down.
I don't need a tan, so I don't know about that. But let's dig
Call it
into this
umbrella.
episode.
Well,
What
it
do we
starts
think?
off with everyone getting ready in the
Everybody's
hotel.
getting ready at
and
the
that's kind of where
hotel.
like all the little drama ensued.
Drama ensues when that In Touch Weekly, Greg presents it to Caroline, and essentially, obviously, we don't have it here with us because this was, filmed
Long
a
time
year
ago.
ago. But apparently, Teresa had the cover story on In Touch Weekly, and it was saying how she was afraid to be poor.
Right. But also Teresa claims that she has no say in.
Did I?
She has
Are you
no
afraid to be
say
poor,
in the
Diona?
title.
I'm not afraid to be poor. I'm not poor. I'm very rich. And many other things.
I'm sorry. No, don't be.
Like what? What? No, I'm just kidding. Sorry, Susan.
No, I mean, Teresa just said that she's not, the one that's responsible for the title of the magazines and what they print. So she's really playing, dumb about this whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, and she's scared shitless of dogs, yet she has a dog on the cover.
Okay,
Right.
and I'm going to say, to her defense, and, I'm definitely not so much Team Teresa.
And I am.
And I know you
kinda
are.
annoyed me.
But what I thought was interesting is that everybody commented on that damn dog on the cover. It was
Yeah.
a little,
Because it just-
golden retriever.
Yeah.
And
It's
everybody's
puppy.
like, where did you get a dog? Where did this dog come from? I thought you were afraid of dogs. So now that tells us how, In Touch Weekly or, whatever, they put that dog in there to just kind of sweeten the
Well, I just have to add,
episode.
because I'm such an animal activist and I love dogs,
Mm-hmm.
that dogs are not props. You know what I mean?
Well, in
And
this case, it
it was. And that's what kind of pissed
Well,
me
that's
off.
what it was. It was to make her
a
more
prop.
wholesome
Yes.
image. I mean,
I don't
how
think
can
any
you-
of them were harmed in the process.
No, they weren't harmed in the process, but
No.
Teresa should not. I mean, she used that dog. She
But
milked
that's just like.
But
that
how
just
do we know she knew
shows-
about it?
Well,
because she was.
she let it in the
posing
picture. You know what I mean? Like even
I don't think the dog was photoshopped or
No,
made,
But
I mean,
at the
well,
same
yeah.
time, did she have a choice? Like, do we know that she had a choice about
no,
having
no.
a pooch in the picture?
I'm sure she could have said no.
She
But
could
I-
have been like, I am terrified. I'm sorry, I'm terrified. I'm uncomfortable. I just, because that's how she was acting with the other dogs at Jamie's house.
True.
And if
I
she's
mean,
so
okay, the reason why
terrified-
she did this, the whole thing is for her that she's looking broke. I mean, the whole message here is let's victimize Teresa. I'm sorry, but that's what this whole magazine was. So
True.
throwing the dog in there, it's
maybe
like
they said bring the dog along, and
It's-
she
the
took it
dog makes
literally
her look
instead of
more-
bringing your husband.
there you go. There you go.
Listen, puppies and babies are endearing to everyone. So
Right,
I
yeah.
think that was probably the whole gist
I mean, yeah,
of
of course.
the
But
magazine.
But bottom line, okay,
But-
so even the whole magazine getting thrown into this whole thing, do you guys, I mean, do you really think Greg happened upon this magazine? Like,
oh, hell no. He
No.
brought that up. He
Yeah.
brought that on the flight.
oh no, I'm
Yeah.
thinking the producers. Like, I feel like
Of
that
course,
was like,
Chris had it. Chris Loretto had
yeah,
it.
Loretta.
Loretta,
And
sorry,
that's what
Loretta
I'm
had
saying
it.
is like, it just seems like
And why the
that's-
hell would he have an In Touch magazine with him? You know what I mean?
What do you
know.
mean, guys?
Yeah.
Read that all the time. What I thought was interesting is that, you have Teresa saying, I have no control over it. And then all of a sudden she's in her little confessional commentary and she's like, the other women don't understand because
Exactly.
they don't ask them to be on the cover.
Yes,
so,
'cause-
so it's like really you don't have a say in what it's about, or you do, because clearly she's
I don't
profiting
know.
off of it. It's not the kind of thing where, the magazine wants to make a story, so they pull any picture they can of Teresa. This is one where they invited Teresa in, they interviewed her personally, photographed her in their studio, and she knew at least some idea, I would imagine,
I
what
agree.
the article was going to be about or what they had to pull from.
Right.
So
And even still, whatever it was, warn the people that might be in it. Say, listen, she did. The thing is, she didn't even tell them that she did this article.
But she hasn't
She
done
never
that
does.
with for
She
any
never
of the
does.
magazines.
Which is
And
that's my problem. Is like, okay, at least tell these people, listen, this is what
she's
it is.
like ambushing them,
Well,
It's
that's
just-
what
not-
it is.
Yeah.
If they're gonna be in there in any way, which they are, then at least just
Let
warn
them know.
them.
Give them a
then-
heads up.
give
You know,
them a heads
I've
up.
always respected Teresa, but what I can't stand, and this goes for anybody, a real housewives or a real person or whatever, just don't play the victim. Don't play the victim.
She always plays the victim.
It's boring. It's dirty. It's just it makes you look worse than you can ever make yourself look in public. And
Right.
this whole victim thing needs to end with her.
But like
immediately.
the victim thing kind of carries over to exactly what you brought up before, which is the View and her blog, which are two
Ciao.
huge things that I'm very much not Team Melissa. I can't really say I guess I'm not a
you
team
are.
anymore. I am more leaning towards Melissa than Teresa.
Melissa and Melissa.
But really though, I feel like Teresa. I don't
you're
know.
embarrassed to jump on the wagon, but you're there.
I mean, I definitely make it very known.
I would be too.
I make it very. No, I'm not embarrassed. I'm very known that Melissa. The things that Melissa does.
Yeah.
I applaud her for trying from what I see. But what I have to say is that watching Teresa on The View, which I'm not sure if the listeners have actually seen, or reading her blog, which is like 70 pages long, it seems.
Somebody
you kinda-
has to be ghostwriting that blog because we know she's not doing it.
Right? It was really long, but you have to really
be
take
real.
that into consideration. And like when I read that, I actually almost kind of felt that like her victim that playing that, I kind of felt for her in that. It was. Did you guys didn't read
Well,
it
you
or didn't
know-
see it? I mean, I don't have it with me, but basically, I just feel like she, I kind of saw for once, got to see her side of it and actually believe it.
You know what? Let me take that back. Let me take calling her a victim back. Because, well, no.
Let me take
calling her playing a victim back, because I think she kind of is a victim. She has this ass-faced husband that totally disrespects her the way he speaks to her. And
Completely.
I mean, to me, I think he's cheating on her. I mean, he doesn't pay attention to her. Why does he travel with lube? For real. Like, that's
okay, let's talk about that. So let's talk about what you're referring to. So basically there was a scene, they were all on this little party bus in the beginning, everybody's family was on the bus, and then Joe starts making his little comments. He says to
her titties
hey
are
Tree,
out.
your boobs are hanging out. And
Yeah.
then she's just like, shut up,
And
tell
then he calls her
everybody.
a whore.
Then he calls her a whore.
What is it? Putana?
In Italian. Yeah,
Putana. He calls her a whore, and then he's like, shut up, bitch. Now, I'm sorry, back up the bus. Why is he calling her a
I don't
bitch?
know.
Yeah.
I have a big
And in
problem
public.
with that.
In public.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why is he calling her a bitch? I mean, in front of
Because he has no
everybody.
respect
Yeah.
for her. And, she's trying to wake him up in bed, and she's, she's like a little girl on Christmas, and she's like excited, trying to wake him up, and he's like,
They don't have all the girls there.
Yeah. And he's just like, get away from me. And then she goes, well, why did you bring that? I'm sorry, but if I travel somewhere with my husband and that mofo brought some lube, I'll be like, what the front door is going on right now?
Well,
Unless
not
he
unless
was
he's
using it
on
with you.
Using it with you, right?
But that's obviously
Yeah.
it wasn't on her. That's why she was like, what the hell
What is that? Yeah.
And she's
I
like,
agree.
every time at this wedding they say love, we have to kiss. And he's like, ah. It's like, I mean, if he just seems like he doesn't want to be there.
I agree.
And
with
you had mentioned something earlier about with Italian families. It's like, I think it's better to save face than to kind of get out of the situation.
Yeah.
And she's kind of stuck. And I think Caroline mentioned earlier in the episode, she goes, Joe Giudice could really honestly live in a cardboard box with a bottle of wine
and cigars and his friends.
And he's fine. So now he's feeling the pressure of his wife saying, you need to make more money. And
Yeah.
So I
mean,
think
she's
there's
making a
going
lot
on.
of money
She's making
too
a lot
now.
of money,
She
but
is.
But in this dynamic of this relationship and in this culture, the men have the power and the men have the upper hand. But when a woman succeeds her husband, it's kind of, I don't know, how do you...
I sort of see that, like, at this point, I think, she claims Joe was her first and that they love each other forever,
I don't believe that.
blah, blah, blah. Regardless, that's what she claims. And so I think at this point...
I give people the benefit of the doubt.
She has just been, I guess victimized isn't really the right word, but at this point, everybody wants their marriage to fail. They're waiting to like find him with another woman. Like, very hard evidence. They want to find him with another one. They want her to leave him. They want them to split up so badly, and they're scrutinized so much. So I feel like she's just taking it because she doesn't want that to happen. She doesn't want to prove everybody else right.
Well, not only that, but they got 4 kids. They've got 4 children,
4 girls.
Like, that's not an easy place to be in. Who wants to be a single parent with 4 kids? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's not an easy place to be in.
But also, who wants to damage these little girls into thinking that they can be treated that way?
Yeah, that's a good point, too.
And who knows if he ever did treat her well? I mean, you'd think that he must have, but if he doesn't have a good relationship with the family, then, you have to wonder where did this all come from?
And I think she's definitely making excuses for him. She's like, my husband has this weird, like, this sense of humor. That's not sense of humor. That's some dumb shit that he says out of his mouth. That's not a sense of humor. That's just ignorance.
I think she just feels like she has to, make excuses for him because otherwise, if she doesn't, she looks like the dumb woman who's with this like emotionally
she makes herself
abusive.
look like a dumb woman.
I mean,
because if she accepts it, then everybody else should accept it. That's what she's saying. If I'm cool with it, then everybody else should be.
Leave it alone.
Well, let's jump to the party on the Jersey Shore with the Wakilis and the Gorgas. They seem to be having a lot more fun.
Yeah,
there wasn't a lot
that's
of
where I want to be.
pressure.
Kathy looked great in that bikini.
Kathy
Girl
looked
has
great.
a nice little...
Had a nice little
derriere.
donk donk.
Yes, she did.
And
before we move on, can we just go back to the wedding, getting ready? How Teresa's like, yeah, you look like a princess, Kate Hudson. I mean,
she said,
Kate Hudson.
Kate Middleton. I know.
And then she says it again.
She said it twice.
I'm like,
she's so.
Didn't she say, like heckle and jide.
Yeah,
I was like, Jekyll and Hyde?
You know what?
First
yes,
of all,
I actually wrote that down.
Okay,
we're gonna jump back and forth.
Teresa
for
isms
sure.
are coming up.
Yeah, I like that, Teresa isms. But yeah, let's jump over to the Jersey Shore party. So, Jersey Shore party, they were having a lot of fun. They were like, Melissa's sisters were there, and it was just genuinely, I don't know. How do you guys feel? I think that like when the two parties are separated, it's just so different.
It is.
Yeah.
It's different.
You know what I mean? Like there's no
Yes.
tension. And I really felt for Joe Gorga because he was really like,
Okay, I'm gonna have to interject here.
Okay, interject.
Well, Joe is, in his party is just partying it up, and then Richie
Little
pulls him over and said, "Hey, can we
sexy
go have a
Joe.
talk Can we have a talk outside?"
So
Yeah.
placed
And Richie-
right there. Guys,
Richie
don't talk
places
about that.
it. I mean, plays it. Richie's the one who brings it up and is like, "Oh, so did your sister ever write back? Blah blah blah. Why
I'm
didn't
glad
you
you're
text
taking my
it while I'm
advice."
here?" So there's evidence, there's proof that I've seen it. It's just like, I mean, everyone is so involved in Joe and Teresa's relationship, and that's great. I know that they're family and they care, but there's a time and place, you know what I mean? And I understand that she's not with her girls, but she's in a wedding. And I don't know about what you guys do at weddings, but I don't try to like smash some drama between me and my brother at a wedding. I'm just trying to have a good time.
What I will say is that there's a very huge distinction between the way that the women handle things and the way that the men handle things.
Well, yeah.
Whether it's
I
scripted or placed or
say the
not.
men are winning right now.
Right, but regardless, I keep saying over and over, I don't understand why they keep on bringing up things in a public place, although the cameras are really ever around, if it's a public meeting or an arranged meeting. But what I have to say is you have to notice, he didn't bring it up in the middle of the party in front of everyone. He brought Joe out of the party.
Right.
And brought it up quietly, didn't create drama, just was checking in on his friend in the most authentic way possible that you can on a
Yeah,
reality
but is
show.
that really the time and place to check on his
No, of
friend?
course not. But it's a reality show.
But yeah, I mean, we
But
have
they
to
have to do it for
But-
camera.
Right, but it's
Yeah.
getting to the point where it's like, okay, so what's strategically placed and what's not? It's
Right.
like, I know it's
well,
for
is
the
Rich
cameras,
gonna call
but...
up Joe on the phone and be
But
like,
that just
"Hey, I
makes
just
Rich
wanna...
look like a little chump, though. It's like, you're a man. Like, why are you like so? Why don't you just have a good time and talk about it tomorrow over breakfast? And
Because
you
that's
know what I mean.
right, because it's relevant. It's like TV. It's
And the
like
alcohol's
that's how you
flowing.
know.
But because guys are not supposed to gossip. Guys are not supposed to be in each other's business like that.
Well, speaking of alcohol flowing, do you guys think you can buy some Malibu rum on
Yeah.
Amazon.com?
Yes.
Because they were pouring that at the party
Yeah, that
on the
looks really
Jersey
good.
Shore. They
hope
they
so.
had that big old I was gonna say
Big
ass.
thing.
They had this huge container that they were just pouring in the Malibu rum. Well,
Malibu
what I
and
want
pineapple.
I know. Well, what I want to tell you, AfterBuzzers, is that there's this great affiliate program with Amazon.com, and what we're asking you to do, if you already shop on Amazon.com, so if you shop for cookbooks, magazines, bras, alcohol, makeup, whatever it
Can
may
you find
be.
a bra on Amazon?
You know what? I have searched for my 32 Triple D. I have searched.
Oh,
Wow.
Was that too much information?
No,
A
Never.
little bit.
Not on this show.
If any of you AfterBuzzers want to get me a gift on Amazon.com,
Lubricant.
not lubricants. That's personal.
You can get your boobs to
you
fit
can't-
into the bra.
You can purchase a 30. I'm a 32 Triple D. I don't look like it. but
Is
you
it
can
triple
purchase-
or double? Keep it
triple?
Which
bitch.
one is it?
It's
Which one is it?
triple.
Can we
Triple.
Hold
Stop
on.
getting heated.
Perfect.
Anyway, let me
Motorboat.
finish
Okay,
this,
I'm sorry.
please. No, you cannot motorboat me, Susan Hahn. But there's this great
Maybe
new.
afterwards.
There's you can
I love having you guys.
So
make all
inappropriate.
your purchases. Basically, what we're asking you to do is go to AfterBuzzTV.com, and there's this cool little banner for Amazon affiliate program, and you click on that.
Do we get a kickback?
We get a kickback. We get a kickback.
Little tiny little.
kickback. And actually, what it does, it helps
the
us.
lights on.
It keeps the lights on. It helps us bring more shows to you. It helps, with the earphones and the makeup and
lighting.
and Marissa and the lighting and the engineers. It helps, keeps us going. So we just ask that if you regularly shop on Amazon.com, shop through AfterBuzzTV.com and click on the Amazon banner. That's all.
That's all.
And buy me a bra. Okay.
That's not
You
creepy.
can send it to the studios. Anyway, all right. So back to the juicy drama from the Housewives. So we were talking about Joe and Richie, how he took him outside.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Giselle. I think the men definitely handle things in a different way, and they exercise a certain amount of respect that the women just don't do. And I
Because
don't
what are
know.
they going to do? Are they going to arrange a meeting and smoke cigars together and talk about that? You know, I think if they're going to bring it up, it's probably going to be most likely when alcohol is flowing and they like don't have, you know, any sort of reservation to talk about it.
Right.
And if anything, they're going to do it not in front of the entire world because I
Right,
think
right.
they know better, even though, let's face it, Joe's a drama queen.
Right.
Well, I think that just shows too a lot of this episode was very much planned. I mean, we have the wedding first of all, that was obviously there. We have the
In Touch.
The In Touch magazine was obviously played. I mean, come on, like that was that was
Everyone
for this
happened
episode.
to pick up a copy.
Melissa's song happened to be playing.
Right.
They played it, the Rockstar, which we've never heard before. You know,
Right.
that was like the premiere of that. So I think there's a lot of things that they're all on board with that. They know that that's how the show runs.
Did you guys notice how moody Lauren was?
She was a little moody. in
She
the
was
beginning.
super
bit.
moody. She was really moody.
A little bit.
I think she even made a comment like, "I'm not on my period, so I'm not moody." And everyone's like, "But you are moody."
Yeah.
Well,
And
she's
she's like-
dieting. They're talking about the wedding. You
Which
know,
made her
they
think about
always
her
give her
and
Vito, you
Yeah,
know.
but she's like nagging to Vito, like, "Don't drink too much wine or don't pour too much."
She
or
needs to
this
make
and
sure
this
she
and
hangs
this."
on to Vito because he seems like he's a great catch, and I feel like right now she's not as confident as she could be.
Yeah,
she's
not-
a little naggy, nitpicky. She needs
Yeah.
to watch out for that.
But that's
They've
her,
been-
her sense of humor is a little dry too. You know what I mean? Like when she
Yeah.
comes out with those things, like it's not necessarily her being like a Debbie Downer. It's her being like that's her way of being funny.
And she got it from her mama.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
Supposedly they're very happy. She tweets pictures of them like
Her and
smooching
Vito?
all together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
all the
that's good.
time. Yeah.
Okay, so can we talk about Blackwater? And I know you've been following Blackwater on Twitter, but Chris Larita made an announcement that now Blackwater, like they got some new investor with a winery or whatever,
Napa.
and he basically just put it out there to everybody on the bus that hey, we're gonna have to make a trip to Napa, and of course. Jacqueline was like, what the hell is Chris thinking? Like, why is he inviting everybody? He knows what the feuds are. Like, what do you guys think about that?
I think
Do you
Chris
he's trying to
genuinely
keep the
likes
peace?
Joe. I think Chris likes
Yeah.
Joe, and I think that's like his homie, and it's
They all like. I feel like
They
they,
all
do
like
all like
Joe.
Joe Giudice.
Yeah.
He is their source of entertainment.
Yeah.
And
Do you think they laugh at him or with him?
Both.
Both.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
At
both.
when he's doing the splits, both when he's making fun of someone and they're too like chicken to say it
Yeah.
themselves.
Right.
I mean, he's entertaining.
They like almost can't wait. Like, did you hear?
Yeah, they're like, no, just say it, just say
Exactly.
it. Just say the comment.
Exactly.
You know?
And that was a dig at poor Lauren. She knew it was coming. That's why she said it. And that's why you
Yeah.
gotta feel bad for her sometimes because she already knows. Like, there's how many people watching you and they're like making fun of her looking like the woman from Titanic. I think it was Kathy Bates' part in Titanic, who was like obviously the overweight woman. That's who it was. She said what did she say? Unsinkable.
Unsinkable ship or something.
That's
like that.
it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was
that.
like, wondering who
Yes.
he's
I didn't
I didn't get that
understand.
until
The
right
second
now.
she said, "Don't tell me I'm so and so," I was like, I already know that's what she's talking about. And then Joe was, and then
Hey,
finally,
I love
this-
Kathy Bates. Misery. Hello.
Oh, I know.
But do you want to be compared to her?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Exactly. So that's why, like, poor Lauren, like, she already knows it's coming. That's why she tries to be funny and say something up front, and
Yeah.
then she just.
You guys, we should have worn hats today. I didn't even think about that.
I know. We
I
did
don't
wait.
do
Yeah,
hats.
I know.
Or
I
our
know.
little bikinis and
know.
wraps.
Little-
Next week.
We'll bring you some
Fringies.
fun stuff, you guys, soon. We promise.
I'll have to get
So
my
what
bikini on
else?
Amazon.
we can say something in a British accent if you guys like.
Oh yeah. Do we want
For a little homage.
Oh wait,
to
how
this
did you
one.
how did you guys like? All right, when it came time for Teresa to do her accent, I don't know, I can't do it. I'm like, bitch, just try. And
I know.
I don't know.
did she
I don't
say?
think she can do it either.
What did she say?
She basically
Divine.
didn't do
Divine.
it. She didn't
Oh,
do it.
it's
You know,
divine.
everybody was going around with a cute little British accent. Do I want to go around with a cute little
Yes.
British accent? You start.
No, I don't want to start.
Oh,
You start.
I don't
well,
even.
Should we
Yeah,
do
let's
like,
happen organically.
Yeah.
You know.
amazing gossip?
Hello.
Oh my god.
I don't even know what I was saying.
Governor.
Isn't that Irish?
I don't know.
Anyway,
Anyway,
what's
Cheerio.
next?
Cheerio.
have
This is a fail.
She's so much better when she's playing Von Queequeg, but she can't do the British.
did you say Von Queequeg? Is that supposed to be ghetto?
Queequeg.
Marissa, help us.
Marissa, help us. Marissa, you got a little British accent for us?
back here.
Oh, you're too busy laughing.
It's a ghetto.
But that was real
ghetto.
in the ghetto. Raphael de la Ghetto.
On with the wedding. With the two homosexuals.
Boston.
Ladies,
Boston Tea Party.
ladies, can we talk about that wedding?
about
It was
Chicago.
gorgeous. It was absolutely beautiful.
I agree.
I thought it was corny.
You thought it was corny?
No, I'm just like, that's just not. I mean, I look at a wedding, whether it's gay or not, as like I compare it to what I would do. Of course, I mean, you know,
What would Adrienne do? I think that was Australian.
I'm just not. Yeah. What was that really?
know.
That's okay. We can just throw in everything. Indian accent? Indian?
I can't do Indian.
No.
Sorry.
No,
With
but
a
I don't
Chicago
know.
accent.
Chi-town.
Yeah, what do we
What
think
is
about
this?
the wedding? I thought it
just-
was just, I loved Caroline's speech. Like,
Her speech was all right.
I loved Jake.
I honestly, I wasn't
I
like, I
agree.
wasn't in tears.
I thought that was more of like a post-wedding at the reception
Yeah.
toast to the
Yeah.
Really?
Is it groom and groom or bride and groom? Groom and groom?
Groom and groom.
Groom and groom.
I liked her analogy about moving mountains. I thought that was just really, it was nice considering they're a gay couple and what they've gone through and when he came out. So that's what I really liked about it. I thought it was kind of inspiring.
I think what I got out of it too was that it was a genuine. You could see like their true. I really did
Yeah.
feel like that was that their relationship was genuine,
Yeah.
like the two of them. But I think the actual like the wedding itself and the way it was what we said, the horse-drawn carriage, whatever.
Yeah.
That's not my style. So I was like, and then they
you
they
could
let
tell
the
it was what
lanterns
they
go.
wanted.
Exactly,
It
which
was
is why
theirs,
it was
It was
okay.
genuinely them.
And
Yeah.
that's why it was cool because it was authentic to it was
Right.
like genuine to
Right.
them. For me, I was just like, I mean, I wouldn't want that, but
I
that's
did
cool.
love Jamie's different shades of purple because he was sweating his balls off. I was like,
But you know
He was
what?
having a great time.
yeah, I was like, but maybe you should take your shirt off. Or something,
Did
'cause I
it
was
annoy
kinda
you
pissed.
guys the fact that there's 11 brothers and sisters and only 2 of them
Yes.
were at the wedding?
Yes.
Like, what is that?
Okay, that's like such a good
I
point,
mean,
though.
I get it that like it's in Chicago. I get it that
No,
maybe not
that's
everybody
not-
can
doesn't
travel.
matter.
That's not it.
That's
I
no
get that maybe
excuse.
not everybody can travel or I don't know,
I
but
don't.
I found it a little odd that out of 11 brothers and sisters, only 2 were present.
100%. I feel like it was because it was televised, like
Yeah.
100%. Like
think so?
that family, like Dina was already on that and removed herself. You can
Right.
imagine the rest of the family is the same
don't-
way.
But why not
Exactly.
attend and just have your face blurred out or refuse to be on camera? Like that's your brother's wedding.
I agree
No, because
with
I think
you.
that brother's wedding was for TV.
Right.
He
Yeah.
could have done it not on
Exactly.
television, but he
Yeah.
did it because it
Okay.
can only benefit him. It's on TV. It's
I agree.
he's already. That's
I
what it
agree.
was. So in my opinion, I feel like that's what it was.
And one thing that that I mentioned last week is that you never know what prompted them to do the wedding. Was it strictly for TV? Because if they've been together for that long and he already considered himself to be a wife, did they perhaps already have like their own little celebratory wedding before?
I'm sure they did.
And then this was just for the sake of signing the paper.
Do we think they got paid for it?
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
That was absolutely a Bravo wedding. That
Yes.
wasn't Jamie
it was
and
planned too, and
Scott's
With
wedding.
Rosie, like
it
hand in
took
hand with the Rosie
2
confession.
It took 2 episodes, and it just happened to fall on Pride Week.
Exactly, that
point,
too.
good
Right.
point.
No, that's why it was definitely planned out, and that's why I
Toot,
feel.
toot. Yeah, beep beep. Sorry, I had to do that.
No, I just feel like it was 100% planned, and and they agreed to do it, which
Not
is
that it wasn't authentic, or
Right.
that that not that the emotions were not real.
no,
'cause it totally was.
It was. It was.
I loved his partner, like what he said. You know, you
Yeah,
asked
that
me
brought me
why
to
I
tears.
wake up with a smile on my face. I was just like, oh my god,
Yeah.
am I gonna have that? Oh my god. Sorry.
Well, cheers to the groom and groom
Cheers to the groom and groom
Salud.
from AfterBuzz.
Salud. From AfterBuzz TV.
Also, before I forget, it is Nicholas Larita's 3rd birthday today.
Oh,
The
cute.
little one.
Happy
Susan's
birthday.
like, who's that?
I'm pretty sure. I don't know. Well, Ashley tweeted.
Happy birthday!
Bitch, I'm out of here.
Ashley tweeted happy 3rd birthday to my little brother, so I can only assume that it's Jacqueline's
yeah.
Nicholas.
Oh,
Sure.
cute.
Yes.
Cute.
Who, by the way, Ashley says that she's gonna stop by this season. Hopefully, she does. If
Get
you're
in
watching,
here, girl.
Tweet her and tell her to stop by AfterBuzz this season because she's in Santa Monica now.
And hopefully Kelly Osbourne will be dropping by as well. I've been working on her because she's a huge super fan of the show.
Oh,
So
yay.
we're working on her. Okay. Any other highlights from the wedding from Chicago that you guys want to talk about? What else?
Oh, Jacqueline is getting on my nerves.
Yeah, she's getting on my nerves. She needs to
talk
choose
about
a
it.
team. She needs
Yeah,
to choose a
stop
side.
Or she
being,
just needs
who
to
said
be
that? Stop being
real.
Switzerland. Like,
You don't need to you don't even need to choose a team, but at least like speak your mind and what's actually going on. Don't do the fake smile on the tennis court looking back and forth. Like speak your mind. You're allowed to talk about somebody without talking behind their back. You know what I mean? Like, if you'll say it to their face, it's not you being a jerk or being two-faced.
Right.
As long as you're picking I don't know, just stating her own opinion and stating the truth.
When Teresa's like, well, I don't live in the past. She's like, just be like, you do live in the past, or how do you?
Well,
how do you think you don't live in the past? She's so, you know what I mean? Just
She's meek.
get it out.
Here's the
Just get
deal.
it out.
I somewhat agree with you guys. At the same time, I can understand the position she's in. She's married to.
But she's enabling her. She's
I get it,
enabling
but she's
Teresa.
married to Chris Larita, who is Caroline's brother. And then she's trying to have a friendship with Teresa, who we all know, Teresa and Caroline, oil and water right now. So she's kind of like, monkey in the middle.
But you can be the voice of reason without having to pick a side.
Absolutely.
Like you can make an observation.
I
or
agree with
can,
you,
like,
but I can understand the pressure that she's probably feeling. That's all I'm saying.
Her being honest with Teresa is not going to make her love Caroline less, and vice versa.
Yeah.
She just needs to call whoever out on whatever bullshit that they're throwing, whether it's her sister-in-law or whether it's Teresa.
It's funny though, because like I am annoyed with Jacqueline too, but you can tell with these two women, loyalty is huge. I mean, if you're gonna diss or not agree with Teresa, she likes you out, and like Caroline,
Well, look what-
same
yeah.
thing. So
Right.
that's why I do see why she's doing it, but it's like it's so frustrating to watch.
It is very
Completely.
frustrating.
And
it's a little catty.
It's almost like it's almost like you're just as bad.
Yeah, it's like, who said enabling? Someone said enabling.
I said enabling.
Yeah, she's enabling.
Yeah, she's enabling
Yeah.
her.
I mean, and can we talk about my favorite comment from Caroline from this whole episode?
Oh my God, yes.
Teresa, shut up. Just shut up.
You and your hat.
You and your hat. Just shut up. Just shut up. I love that because she was so true. Because she read the article. Teresa didn't have the courtesy to say anything about that article, knowing that it was out there. Not who knows if she knew how it was going to be twisted or told, but she knew it was out there.
Right.
So the least she could have done is say, "Hey, I'm just giving you a heads up.
Right.
This is going to come out in In Touch Weekly." She didn't have the nerve to do that. Yet you're at her brother's wedding. So I love that she's like, just shut up. I don't care about your hat, just shut up. And then they're in this enclosed environment, so she couldn't get away from her, and she was literally trying to make small talk. Caroline, that hat looks great on you.
Yeah.
Like, really, shut up it. Like,
a couple
come on.
of
Well, but
thing
then
is
in
there.
Teresa's mind, though, she thinks that everything's kind of
that everything is
squashed.
okay.
Yeah. In
Yeah.
her mind, she thinks that
She was
all right,
living
I
on
wrote
her
some
own
stuff.
island.
Well, Caroline's never expressed that she's also angry on top of the whole cookbook thing.
Yeah.
This whole Dina thing. So Teresa's just fighting blindside right now. She's just like, all right,
I don't
well,
think
we
it's
kinda
completely blindside.
I think in Teresa's defense, it's like, anytime any of them are on the cover of a magazine or even included in a magazine, it's never just one. They always talk about each and every single one of them. So in Teresa's defense, it's not like, well, like every time she's in a magazine, is she going to talk to them? Also, we don't know when the magazine is from. For all we know, it came out that day. For all we know, the producers happened to pick it up and it was, not even due to come out for 2 more
Right,
weeks.
I agree.
Right.
And also, Teresa's not going to mention it because she, in her mind, did nothing wrong. So why should she bring it up and all of a sudden be defensive before something?
I
Or in
agree,
which
I
case, the last
agree.
time she brought up, whatever afterwards, and they, put her down for doing that too.
Right. I mean, as a grown-ass woman, you don't need to give your friends a play-by-play of what you're doing in your life. I understand that they were brought up, these, her friends and her cousins, but I mean, I
In
totally
Teresa's
agree
mind,
with
she's
you.
not saying anything
Yeah,
wrong.
I agree with you.
In Teresa's mind, she's not putting anyone down.
I agree
She's
with
not
you.
lying. She's not. So for her to be like, oh, by the way, I've talked about you guys. Well, when would they want to interview her where they wouldn't talk about anybody else?
Yeah.
Exactly, I agree.
But even still, what was even? We were trying to figure out what was even said. It wasn't even something that was that insulting.
It was
right.
It was her
It was
saying,
something that
I'm
was
scared to be
twisted.
broke, and
Yeah.
she's claiming that they're not supporting her. That they're kind of outing her because she's broke now or she's poor.
Like they're saying,
So
"Oh,
she's-
Teresa, what are you doing going to the mall? Oh,
Exactly.
Teresa, you
Or
just
how
bought
many
something
times
new."
she's gonna- yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
That's what it
Yeah.
was about.
Well, they were. They do. Last
And they
season,
do, and they absolutely
remember last
do.
season when Teresa
even
invited
Lauren
them all
was
to
like,
her
she
cabin.
always has a new Fendi and the new
Yeah.
Gucci. It's like, worry about your diet, worry about yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And the last season, they all went over to Teresa's cabin, and it was Christmas time, remember? And they couldn't afford gifts. And Teresa still went and, like, bought all the girls gifts and
Yeah.
bought Joe something nice. And I'm pretty sure I remember Caroline distinctly and also Melissa. And they're like,
Yeah.
I don't understand
If
what's
I-
going on. And at the same time, it's like,
You-
it's not really your business.
Exactly. I'm sure
Yeah.
she cut down on what she had to cut down. And then for the girls, growing up, my parents, we've been through ups and downs, but my parents claimed bankruptcy at one point. But I never knew that we were bankrupt because everything stayed the same for my brother and I. We still always have food on the table. They were always there next to us. They loved us so much. I didn't realize that we were bankrupt. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And you can't scrutinize her for getting presents on Christmas for four little children. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's one thing to be concerned if they want to support her, but they were simply concerned because they wanted to know her business.
Exactly. I agree with you on that.
It's hard to tell with that one. And normally I'm not defensive or I don't defend Teresa.
You're not.
But in this case, I can't help but to like see things from her perspective.
Yeah. Oh, you need to read this. You need to read her blog and you need to watch The View. I'm telling you. Like.
Okay. Ooh, it's juicy, y'all. Now, can we talk about therapy? Can we talk about that? We kind of glossed over it, but can we really talk about it? Because, wait, I wrote it down. So Teresa had a quote. She said, "I didn't do anything wrong. Why do I need to go to therapy?" And
by the way, it was slurred a little bit. I just want to point that out. I don't know if you guys noticed or not. I don't know if that was planted or if it was authentic, but there was alcohol involved.
But like my thing is like, why is there this stigma associated with therapy? I get it from a cultural perspective because Black people too. I don't like going to therapy. Like, you don't want to tell people your business. But like, I think what struck me about that comment, she says, "I didn't do anything wrong."
Exactly. She's stubborn and doesn't want to accept responsibility.
As if going to therapy is like it's a consequence for doing something wrong.
I think that whatever Joe is communicating to Richie, Joe needs to communicate that with Teresa and says, you know what, if the reason I do want to go to therapy is because I want to fix us. And if it's me, then I want to fix me. So he needs to communicate that to Teresa. And then Teresa will be like, okay, I get it.
But Teresa's not even responding though.
Right, but he's sending her via text. And you know what? Some major shit went down between them, obviously, because there's so much hurt and drama and there's so much going on that she refuses. She's like, no, because I didn't do anything. We don't know what happened. We don't know what happened. My whole thing with this is I think that, again, that he abandoned Teresa and went to, his wife, which is fine, but I think he doesn't know the balance between kind of balancing out the women in his life.
I at least liked how Richie brought up the other alternative, which is, if you don't want to look at his therapy, then don't look at his therapy. Then find an outside person who's like, an objective person.
It's still the
to
same
be able
thing.
to mediate the same thing, which is the same thing, but it doesn't have the word therapy.
Exactly, but with Teresa, you need to really break down in verbiage and let her know, because she's getting texts, and texts are maybe 3-4 sentences long.
I get it, but at the same time, he's making an effort. He's making an honest effort to try and reach out to her and try to fix the wrong. And meanwhile, she's just like, well, he should go to therapy with his wife. It doesn't need to be with me. No, it needs to be with you, because the issue is with her brother
I agree
and
on
her.
that. I agree on that.
I was in therapy for 2 years. I think it's a great thing. Obviously, everybody has their own opinion, but it's literally just talking to a neutral party.
No, I agree with that. But you know what? Be the change that you want to see. If you really want to fix this and you really want to go to therapy, then call her up. Do you know what I mean? Call her up. Do her telephone. It's like, I sent her a text. Anybody could send text. I think we talked about this before. Yeah. You really care? Then pick up the damn phone. Or drive to her house. Yes. It's not like you don't know where she lives. You guys are family.
Yeah. I just think Teresa's not feeling it too, because I feel like this came out now.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, they've had issues for how many years? I think Teresa's also like, all right, these guys came onto my show. Now they're saying they want therapy. I look like the weak person. I think Teresa in her head is kind of thinking, why should I now back down and give in to this now? Yeah. When they brought it up, they look like the good guys. We're trying to solve stuff. Yeah. We need therapy. I'm willing to put effort in. And then she looks like the bad guy now. She feels like, no, I don't want this. I don't want this.
I agree.
What did she say when she was on The View? Or what's been...
Well, you know what? We're going to get to that after a commercial.
Hey guys, what's happening? We are the America's Best Dance Crew ABDC After Show, coming to you guys. We watch the show every week just like you, and we go every Friday to the set to interview and talk to the crews behind the scenes and let you know what is happening behind the scenes.
Hey guys, I'm AJ Gibson here with my lovely co-host. Why don't you introduce yourselves?
Hey, I'm Kaori Take. Hi, I'm Kira Bente.
And we cover America's Got Talent every single Monday night for AfterBuzz TV. We're not exactly judges, but we have no problem judging.
We're crafty enough.
Yeah, we are crass. We're definitely crass. We're not shy at all. So you guys check us out every Monday, 9 o'clock. Like us on iTunes. Let us know what you guys think, and we'll keep doing this for you every single week. We love you guys. We're here for you.
AfterBuzz TV. What do you want to buzz about?
What? We are back. So for this particular episode, like I said in the very beginning, there's so much news and gossip going on, and this week, Teresa, Melissa, and Kathy were actually on The View. And last week. And we actually have a couple clips that I hope that we can share with you about that. And just so you know, they taped their segment separately. Things got so heated between the three of them that Teresa refused to film her View segment with Kathy and Melissa. So they were separate. So Teresa's was first, and then Kathy and Melissa's were second. So a lot of interesting stuff. And what I didn't realize, well, maybe we'll see a little bit in the clip, but I'll just bring to light. Teresa made a comment that she has not seen or spoken to Kathy or Melissa since the reunion in September. Which, of course, we wouldn't know that from seeing the episode because we haven't seen that yet.
They shot the reunion in September?
Yes.
Wow.
So that's a long time.
That's a really long time.
Yeah, I thought that they filmed the reunions after they've all watched it, but have they, I guess, seen all the episodes then? Or how does that...
I don't know, but September's a long time. We're looking at, almost a year, but she has not seen them. That's how deep this rift has gone. So that's something that we don't see. Oh, here we go. Hopefully we can play a little bit for you guys.
Hi, Teresa. Welcome to the show. I gotta say this, as a person with family people, it's just heartbreaking to see this stuff going on with family. But in our green room back there is Melissa and your sister-in-law Kathy. Your cousin, Kathy's your cousin, but you have not spoken to them or seen them since the reunion took place in September. Am I correct?
Correct.
So you refuse to be on the show with them in the same room. Why?
Refuse is a harsh word.
Yeah.
And we have family issues that we need to resolve. And I didn't think today was the appropriate time, in front of an audience, and it to be done in just a few minutes.
But you do everything in front of an audience.
No.
All of this family feud is in front
There
of
may
an
not be
audience.
enough time, is that what you're saying? To hash it out
Well,
completely?
I haven't seen them, so I didn't think today was the appropriate time in front of, there's things, to me, family is the most important thing, and there's things that we need to discuss and go over, and, it's like I've been watching the show week after week and seeing what my family is saying about me. And it's hurtful.
This year has been hurtful, probably from all of your perspectives. You're fighting with your brother, which you guys have only each other.
Not that I'm fighting with them. You have to watch the,
Right. You're not in a good place with him, right? You're not in a good place with your sister-in-law, as we just saw. And then there are two other housewives on the show that you're not getting along with either. So what do you think is really going on? Because some people would say, well, if I'm doing the math, it's you. But you seem like you have good intentions.
Yeah, you have to really, watch the show. Right. And, I'm not out to be, I'm not fighting with anyone. Here, I'm watching the show week after week, and I'm seeing what my family and my friends are saying about me. And it's just, hurtful to me.
Why do they all say that? For instance, since the show started, you've written 3 best-selling cookbooks. You placed 5th on Celebrity Apprentice, and you've been on numerous magazine covers. Now, friends are saying that you have changed and that fame has gone to your head.
I'm still...
What do you say about that?
Yeah, after what you're seeing right now on The Housewives taped a year ago, last summer. So after taping Housewives, I went on Celebrity Apprentice, which that was absolutely amazing. I was able to raise awareness for my charity, which is Neff Cure Foundation, which is rare kidney disease. And you know what? Being on Celebrity Apprentice, there's children out there that are suffering, and to me, that's what's important. I have 4 healthy daughters. I have an amazing husband, and I want all this drama is nonsense.
So do you think they're just jealous of you?
You've become famous, and in part because of this drama. The feuding, your brother who maybe should choose you over his wife. That's part of the turmoil.
Choose me over his wife.
Let me go. So next year, you want to continue to be in front of the camera. You want to continue to make the money, and so I assume you have to keep arguing, but you also have to do next season, right?
We could do next season, but in a happy light. It doesn't
but you
have
are going to do next season.
We'll never be on the air if it's in a happy light.
We know that.
Well, I mean, everyone has to understand, like, I signed up for a show to be on with my family, and with friends and family. Friends and strangers.
Okay, are you doing the next show?
Never.
I don't think you're going to resign from
Well,
this.
we haven't. None of us have been asked back yet.
Really?
Yes, because the show has only been out a few weeks. And another thing that I don't know if everyone knows is that my family came on the show behind my back.
But you will sign again if they ask you.
We'll see. Yeah. Well,
What do you mean they came on this show?
Not this show.
I don't want to quit the show. The thing is, my thing is, I want to be happy. Like, I have 4 beautiful daughters and amazing.
All right, so we just wanted to share a little bit of that with you guys.
She looks really good.
She looked great.
She looked real classy.
Yeah, she looks really pretty.
Well,
She looks great.
I'm gonna continue the rest of this. So what happens at the very end is that Whoopi actually asks her. She says, if things don't get better, would you actually leave the show? And she dodged the question a little bit, and Barbara came back and said, you didn't answer the question. If things don't get better...
You can't mess with Barbara. You got to answer her
Barbara Wawa.
question.
If things don't get better, would you actually leave the show? And she said no, because we just heard her say... we just heard her say how she claimed that Kathy and... Kathy and Melissa came on the show behind her back, and I don't think we have enough time, but in their segment, they talked about how basically they asked him right off the bat, is this true? And they said no. They said, we got a phone call about the show on a Friday, and Sunday I called Teresa. So somebody's not telling the truth right here,
And in this situation, I actually do think that Melissa and Kathy knew it was going to upset Teresa. Teresa already had the show. This is when I'm actually on Team Teresa right now, because I actually can see why they wouldn't want to tell her. It would upset her. They're not going to try to get her going. She's probably not going to want them on the show. She might have time to even tell Bravo, listen, I don't want my family on the show, because they already had issues. And that's what Teresa's saying. She doesn't want them on The View. She doesn't want to hash this out. Yeah, it's in front of an audience anyways on their show, but it's different than being on The View for 2 minutes. Like, I actually get what she's saying.
Well, yeah, because her relationship with Joe and Melissa's been rocky the whole entire marriage. So why the hell would she want this publicized on national television?
And I actually get that.
I get it.
Also, I think
she felt betrayed.
It's one thing that, it's one thing to tell Teresa, hey, we got this phone call. It's another thing to actually sign the dotted line and say, hey, we're doing it, which I think
well, they
there
did
could
sign
be
the
some
dotted
fuzzy.
line, though.
Well, no, I know, but Teresa was saying they signed on behind my back. So maybe they said something to Teresa, even though they let her know that they got the phone call, but maybe they said something to her that was maybe different than actually committing to do it. Like maybe they're like, well, we're thinking about it. We got this phone call, and then they went ahead and did it, which, regardless.
Yeah.
The outcome basically,
Things happen.
they didn't want her. I don't think Teresa wanted them on the show anyways. So.
Well, and then the other part of it, and in Kathy and Melissa's segment, Joy Behar was just like, look, here's what I think. I think that Teresa was top dog, basically. She was the center of attention. You guys came on, and you kind of took that away from her, and she doesn't like it. Like, what do you guys think about that? Do you think there's some truth to it?
Yeah, definitely.
That was her thing. This was her thing.
Yeah.
Caroline said it over and over again. The younger, skinnier version of you.
But you know what, Caroline? Whatever. Because when Dina was on the show, it's like, I don't know, how would it have been if she kept her place on the show? She can't really comment on things like that. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
They did do it together, though.
Right, but and then Dina backed out. And there's no such thing. There's no stronger bond as sisterly bond, but no one could get down and dirty as sisters as well. So she can't really comment on saying, well, everything's honky-dory and Melissa's a younger, skinnier, whatever, because her sister opted out. But let's say Dina was still on the show and her drama with Dina was happening on the show, then she would sympathize more with Teresa. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, because
her drama's happening behind the scenes with her and Dina. We know that there's drama that's happening behind the scenes.
And they're making it very clear to keep it out.
Teresa's drama with Melissa and Kathy is happening on the scene.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
At the same time,
that's why I sympathize with Teresa a little bit now, because I actually kind of feel her.
And exactly.
At the same time, I think, she probably didn't want them to steal her thunder, but look who every single episode has been all about Teresa this season. Yeah. Look who we're talking about.
Well,
look who's on the cover of these magazines.
Against the Housewives.
Yeah, but still, she kind of got what she wanted,
I don't even think that was. I know, and I don't even think that was her goal to be like, I still want to be the center of attention. I think it was more of like, I don't want my family and my blood.
Outshine me.
No, I think it was more of like, I don't want them to be under scrutinized
and the thing
have our
she
beef exposed.
Keeps saying, family means everything to me. I think she's indirectly saying, bail out of the show. Get out of the show. If you guys want to save this this relationship and this family, then get out of the show. This was her show to begin with.
This is mine. You wouldn't have this opportunity for me.
And it's just getting worse and worse and worse.
Have you guys noticed a difference in the way that Teresa handles herself? Because I remember seeing a couple reunions back where Andy would ask Teresa a question and she would answer the question like, with conviction. And now it's like any interview she does, it's like she acts as though she's being targeted, or she acts as though she has to be defensive. Like she's stuttering and she doesn't know what to say. Yeah. And she just doesn't know how to hold her ground. And like, I'm just wondering if you guys, number one, have noticed that. Number two, where that comes from. Like, is she insecure? Is she nervous? Is she scared?
She's not like the most
damaged?
well-spoken woman on television, but she wasn't as horrible as she is right now.
Well, I think she's under a microscope. Like, she's got the 3 books and she's in all these gossip magazines, and like she's the center of all the drama. Yeah, but
the cookbooks is a good thing. The drama is her family against her, and she throws punches too. But it's kind of like her brother calling her a bitch on national TV. That was wrong too, and we never brought that up. For him calling her a bitch as well, that's unacceptable. And her sister-in-law and her cousin, and you know what? Richie doesn't like her. Richie admitted. Nope. So you're talking about 4 family members going at her. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's a lot. And
you
that's
can see why she's acting the way she is now. I think this episode shows why you see that. I think the next episode, we also are going to see when Jacqueline and Teresa get into it. So that's predictions.
Right. Yes. And I think it's clearly sad how these women who are family, they are family related by
grown-ass women.
Grown-ass women. They have not spoken since September.
I understand that, but money talks. So you can say family all day long, but if someone's giving you a paycheck... Sad. But you know what? They're all guilty.
And notice you're saying family by blood, but family as far as like husband and wife, that's not going to get broken. You see how strong these women are and how loyal. They'll be loyal to their husbands.
Exactly. Well, before we get to predictions, another thing that happened this weekend is Melissa, your favorite person. She debuted a new video, a new single called Rockstar. Melissa, do we have that? Can we play a little bit of that, Marissa?
Yeah, 1 second. Let me get that for you.
I'm going to go on a bathroom break real quick.
I'm just kidding.
Ouch. Take a shot.
And what was really cute is at the New Jersey party, Joe actually kind of introduced his wife in the new song. All right, so let's listen a little bit.
She looks like RuPaul right there. It's a little bit.
Are you saying she looks like a tranny?
Have a real good time.
I was like,
I'm trying to see if I can feel it.
Look at Susan's face.
All right, let's get to the chorus.
Okay. Well, that was just a little snippet of Melissa Gorga's new
It's not horrible, and I give her props for because I'm a huge. It's never too late to be what you might have been. However,
I agree. I think it's more for if you're in the club, you had a couple drinks, you're just like,
or you're at a Gorga party,
fist pumping it up, But
this is season 2 for her, and she jumped on the wagon to promote a music
I don't blame her. I don't blame her. I mean, I think now is the perfect time if they want to
Blackwater, Fabellini, Fabulicious,
cookbooks, whatever you want to do. Like now is the time to do whatever you want to do. Look at Bethany. Bethany debuted her talk show yesterday.
Bethany's sister wasn't on the show. And
true. Bethany has no family, so. Sorry, Bethany. I mean, whatever. But I'm just saying. So now's the time if they want to promote something.
No, I don't. I'm not talking about the promoting. I'm just talking about how they kind of came in.
I have to say, the song sounded a lot better when Melissa wasn't singing along. I'm sorry, but when she was singing along to her own song at the party, she looked great doing it. But she was off on her own song. Or maybe she had a couple drinks, which I know I sound
I think
awful.
It was her sister singing along.
I sound better when I drink. Karaoke.
I thought it was her sister singing along.
Oh, well, her lips were moving. Her lips were moving.
It's a little auto-tune. It's, it's very Britney Spears.
I love me some
Britney. Britney is auto-tune, all right?
I don't care.
Britney,
keep it real.
I don't care.
Britney Spears.
I love Britney lip syncing. I like Britney bald. I like her knocked up.
I like Britney's vagina when she comes out of the car.
Baby.
Don't you dare ever dog Britney.
Exactly. Britney, you want to come to the studio? All right, guys. I think it's time for predictions.
Predictions, Jacqueline and Teresa.
AfterBuzz TV.
All right.
I think Caroline's going to
leave
for this
what are we
season.
thinking for next? Or do we think Jacqueline and Teresa, is it over for them?
I think you're going to see, I think this is the episode where you see why they weren't talking at the reunion. opposite.
That would be nice. I like that. I like that.
We
What do
need
you
that.
think?
I agree.
I agree. I agree.
Let's see it.
Do we?
I
think,
also think Caroline might leave after this season.
I don't disagree with you because I think at this
She's
point
over it.
she's made her money. She's gotten her,
She would
like,
only stay in it for the kids.
celebrity. But why does she need to stay for the kids?
Blackwater. And Ashley has her. Well, actually, I guess that's Jacqueline's daughter. But
Will
with the
Jacqueline and
line.
Chris stay in it if Caroline? Because Caroline and Chris are.
I think the show could survive without Caroline. I do.
I do too.
I do.
It's definitely become Teresa's family
The
now.
show could
more or
have
less.
legs
I think
without
the
her.
It started with the
Not without
Manzos.
Albie.
Albie
I
and
said- I
Chris
think
would
the
still be
kids
on.
might
Your
stay.
boyfriend would still be on,
Yeah.
girl.
Well, we should
But
see.
I think
I
the
love
show could
Caroline.
survive without her.
I agree.
I just
agree.
like her. I think they need at least someone. Well, I guess Kathy's kind of become the voice of reason. But
Yeah,
She has.
in a
Yes,
more
yes.
not so aggressive way too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And a little tender way.
Yeah.
Yes.
A little tender way.
All right, guys.
All
Well,
right,
looks like
kitties.
we're wrapping this up. We can't wait for another episode next week because, there's just too much
much.
juiciness. What do we have going on around the table? What do you got going on?
That's nothing.
Nothing.
My
All
Celtics
right.
lost, man. I'm
Something.
sad.
Where can everybody
know.
find
Celtics
you?
I'm sad. Yeah, the king.
Celtics
Yeah. Adrienne_Vairo.
All right.
And you can find me at Giselle Ugarte. I also host Love in the Wild on Tuesdays, and I'm on a reality show tomorrow. My competition, we come down to top 2. So
Yeah.
if you
Wait,
do that well, slash you
Giselle.
look hot.
Who's in the top 2?
I can't tell you.
You can't tell us.
I
Well,
can't tell you.
Say jokes.
Okay.
But I love the other 2 if it's not me.
Ooh, it's gonna be a
You'll have to
surprise. Who's in the
watch.
top 2? You guys have to watch. Susan.
Susan Hahn. You can follow me on Twitter at It's Susan Hahn. And it's always been real.
Always.
Always.
Always. And I'm Diona Vaughan. You can find me on Twitter at GoToGirlTV. That's the number 2. And you can also catch me on my website, GoToGirlTV.com. Tune in for lots of webisodes on where to find things on a great budget and all that kind of stuff because I'm all over that stuff. And until then,
week.
we'll see you guys
See you next
week.
week.
Arrivederci.
Don't forget AfterBuzz and buy me a bra.
Cheerio, Mike.
32 Triple C.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.